Welcome to the program. My name is Justin Clark. That is AlliMac. Plenty of information on the website, www.youhavepower.com. We're here to answer any legal question that you may have. We would never charge you for a consultation. All consultations are free. When you hear about these lawyers who say, oh, yeah, come in my office, $400, we would never, ever charge you because we want you to come in, feel comfortable, and no charge, ever, for a consultation. 321-282-1055. That is AlliMac.
Hello, guys. Nice to see you.
And my name is Justin Clark. Thank you for spending some of your weekend here with us on Behind the Law. www.youhavepower.com. We're here to answer any legal questions that you may have.
This is Behind the Law with Justin Clark.
What's up, Chase? How are you? Good to see you. My name is Justin Clark. Welcome to the program. Another edition of Behind the Law. Justin Clark, AlliMac with you. He is Chase, all shaved and haircut. I mean, he really takes his TV show seriously. There's no doubt about it. I like
definitely.
As soon as I walked in, I was like, hey, can I get my producer back? I didn't even recognize you.
I try my best to not look homeless, especially in front of TV cameras.
321-282-1055. Plenty of information on the website, www.youhavepower.com. It is Behind the Law with Justin Clark and AlliMac. AlliMac, how are you today?
I'm doing good.
Good to see you. We're gonna talk about bankruptcy today. And, you know, your grandparents and your parents would always tell you that bankruptcy is bad. You know, it has a bad rap to it. Bankruptcy is a lifesaver for many people and many families. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you how bankruptcy helps your credit. Bankruptcy does not hurt your credit. Bankruptcy helps your credit. The fastest way sometimes to get your credit cleaned up, to buy a house, to buy a car with a good rate is by filing bankruptcy, believe it or not. So I'm going to demystify bankruptcy for you. And if you have any questions, please call us. 321-282-1055. Plenty of ways to interact with the program. AlliMac, how can they watch us live? And we're on TV on Central Florida's 27, of course. Listen on ESPN 580. But how can they interact with us digitally?
Well, we're on different platforms right now. So if they want, we're streaming live on Facebook. So they can ask us questions. We are getting the live feed, the live questions. And as they ask us, we're going to start answering the questions that our viewers, our listeners have. So,
what do you think about this sign? I mean, terrible. I walked in. I was like, oh, great. TV show starts again today. Can't wait to see the new sign.
Well, it's missing something.
Yeah, it's missing
you,
first of all.
So I'm going to go ahead and kind of.
It doesn't say AlliMac, but what a terrible sign. So, look, if you're watching on WRDQ, Central Florida's 27, we're going to have a better sign next week. I promise you, okay? I mean, this is terrible. What do you think? It's the worst.
I like the colors.
Oh. That means she hates it, too. So bankruptcy, two types of bankruptcy that you're going to hear for the consumer, right? Chapter 7 and a Chapter 13. So Chapter 7 is the easy, quick bankruptcy. It takes 3 or 4 months, boom, 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 in and out. Chapter 13 is really the repayment plan bankruptcy where you pay the trustee for 3 years or 5 years. You pay the trustee a certain amount of money, and then she pays your bills, basically. But when you think about bankruptcy and you think about a liquidation, Chapter 7 is the bankruptcy that you really think about. So whenever I file bankruptcy for someone, AlliMac, I have to pull their credit report, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to see every single debt you have, and it's going to show me what your credit score is today. Mm-hmm. But it also shows me what your credit score is going to be in 12 months. And almost every time when I file bankruptcy for someone, the credit score goes up by 150 to 200 points.
What's the time frame that happens in, though? 6
to 12 months, your credit score is going to go up by like 200 points. So you always hear people say, if I file bankruptcy, my credit's going to be ruined, right? I mean, isn't that what you think?
Yeah.
Oh, my credit's going to be ruined. Well, it's not, because most people who are finding themselves in a difficult financial situation already have debt that they're not paying. Mm-hmm. Their credit's already taken a little bit of a hit, right? So they come in, their credit score is 540, 550, whatever. When I pull your credit report, because I have to pull it, because I need to see every single debt you ever have. I'm not counting on you to come in with every single bill that you've ever received. I'm going to pull the credit report because when I file bankruptcy, I want to get rid of everything you've ever owed to anyone.
Right.
But that credit report's going to show me what your score is going to be 12 months from now. So 12 months from today, when we file this bankruptcy, your credit score is going to be in this high 600s, which is shocking to a lot of people. People don't understand that filing bankruptcy is really helping their credit, not hurting their credit. And then I get this all the time. Well, Justin, I think you're a bad person because we really you should be telling your clients to pay their Bank of America credit card or their American Express card. You're a bad person for getting rid of this debt. And I'm not. In fact, I'm a real good person. I meet with probably 10 families a day, AlliMac. 10 families a day come in.
Everybody has a different situation. Like, for instance, I filed for bankruptcy, and I also had that same kind of frame of mind where, I'm going to be one of those bankruptcy people. And, I wanted to be able to pay my bills, and I was. It was just because of my divorce, and we had a large balance left that in a way, it was almost forced that we had to. But you're right. It did, my credit score tanked, and I had an amazing credit score. It tanked, but then it went right back up. So little by little, it did help my credit versus, where it was with the house and we lost. So
the average income for people in Central Florida is about $45,000 a year, right? So if you make $45,000 a year, I mean, let's do the math. You know exactly how much money is coming in every month. Even let's say that you make $2,000 net every 2 weeks, right? So that's $4,000 a month that you have coming in to pay all your bills. Look, let's pay the rent or the mortgage, $1,500 bucks, right? So I'm bringing in $4,000 a month. Let's just do the math here. Minus $1,500 right out of the gate for the mortgage, right? Now, have you seen health insurance prices recently, by the way?
Oh, my God. Ridiculous.
I pay for health insurance. I have 2 kids, almost wife, $1,200 a month for health insurance. $1,200 bucks. So let's take my $4,000, right? Minus $1,500 for the mortgage.
Jeez.
Minus, let's just say that your health insurance is $500, okay? So now I'm down to $2,000 because $1,500 bucks for my mortgage, $500 for health insurance. What about the electric bill? I mean, have you guys spent any summers in Florida? The electric bill's $300 bucks, right?
Yeah,
I mean, no matter what, your electric bill in July and August is going to be $300 bucks, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, so now my $4,000 a month is down to what, $1,500 bucks that I have left over? Now, I got to buy food for my family. Now, American Express says that I've got to pay them $300 a month, right? Or I've racked up credit card debt of $20,000. For every $10,000 in credit card debt, you need to think that you're paying about $300 per month for every $10,000. How do people survive, right?
I don't know.
And so people say I'm a bad person for recommending filing bankruptcy. But when I have a family that comes into my office and dad is crying and mom is crying because at the end of the month, there's literally no money left over. There's no money left over. Do you think I care more about them paying Amex or them putting food on the table?
No, exactly.
What's more important?
Family.
Is it paying the American Express bill or is it making sure that your family can eat?
No, exactly.
Life is not easy, guys. I mean, life is tough financially. The stress that we live under every day because at the end of the month, we have no money left over.
Yeah.
Do you know the relief that I feel when a client comes in and they say, I literally have no money in my account. I went to Winn-Dixie and swiped my debit card and it wouldn't go through because there's no money left over. So am I going to be concerned about paying the Bank of America credit card, or would I rather you wipe out that debt so you can use your money on other things? Now look, we're going to wipe out the debt. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, get more credit cards, let's just do it again.
Right.
Not a cycle. I'm not trying to teach you bad behavior, but I'm trying to tell you that there's a solution to the problem of having no money at the end of the month.
Yeah.
And does that make me a bad person?
No, it doesn't. And sometimes bankruptcy is, it's I can't even say it's a necessary evil, but it's sometimes necessary because, like you said, it's more of a, what do you pay, your Bank of America or your Amex, or do you buy groceries to feed your family? So,
and money goes quickly. I mean, it really,
oh my gosh,
really,
yes.
it really goes fast. it doesn't feel good when you're at the end of the month and there's just no money there. I mean, there's no money left over, and it's a cycle where every single month. Now, bankruptcy also helps people who are going into the next phase of their life. If you're thinking about retiring, or you're getting close to really retiring and figuring out how you're going to live on that Social Security check, stick around. Next segment, we're going to talk about how bankruptcy could be the best retirement solution. Justin Clark, ESPN 580.
Foreclosure defense, loan modifications, bankruptcy? Get the answers to all your legal questions and more on Behind the Law with attorney Justin Clark every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. on TV 27.
Now back to Behind the Law with Justin Clark, right here on ESPN 580 Orlando.
Welcome back to the show. My name is Justin Clark. You're listening to Behind the Law. Thank you for spending some of your weekend here with us. 321-282-1055. Plenty of information on the website, www.youhavepower.com. Got the TV crew here today. AlliMac is with me as always. AlliMac, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Good to see you.
Nice to see you again.
All right, so look, guys, I have to get to know the TV crew. Chase, we know you, Chase, of course, but you two behind the scenes are really making this thing happen television-wise. Names? Jordan and? Keith, what's up, guys? Thank you for being here. You're doing a great job. Making me look less fat, I hope. Do we have the less fat cameras today or no?
I left that at
Oh,
home.
man.
Next time.
All right, so you guys have to watch the show and tell me kind of like what side's gonna be better for me. Maybe
What
I need
angle,
to tilt.
what
Yeah, what do I
angle?
need to tilt this way or that way? But I'm one of those guys that literally I can have a piece of pizza and my face, like my cheeks expand. I think all the weight goes right to my face. I'm one of those guys. It sucks. It really does. It stinks being I can tell right away, literally. Maybe my gut doesn't get fat, but my face gets fat.
Really?
And TV is terrible for making you look 10 to 15 pounds heavier. You've heard that rumor, right? TV makes you look a little bit heavier. It is 100,000,000% true. In fact, I'm going to wear just black shirts from now on. This is actually the last show I'm doing in blue. I'm going to wear black shirts from now on because black makes you look
It's
thinner.
slim. Yeah, it's slimming.
So remind me,
Hello.
yeah.
I have just the opposite issue
What?
that you do. So
Alright.
whenever I can eat and I don't ever gain weight.
Really?
So I don't, it's high metabolism. It's, some people say it's a good thing, bad thing, but
Well, when you're 28, things are different. Right?
29.
Oh,
But
20,
thank you.
yeah. When you're in your 20s, it doesn't go right to you. We're talking about bankruptcy today again. 321-282-1055. We're talking about how bankruptcy can make your life better. When anyone tells you that bankruptcy is a terrible thing or you shouldn't do it, your grandparents say, I fought through all of our adversity. Bankruptcy is a terrible thing. Come talk to me first and let me tell you how it can actually help you. In fact, I meet with people all the time. First, I would never charge anyone to come to my office and talk to me. You know what I mean?
For consult?
There's no consultation fee at my firm. Never has been, never will be. Many times I tell people that they shouldn't file bankruptcy, right? I mean, I'm going to tell you exactly what I think is the best route to go, and sometimes filing bankruptcy is not the way to go. But when someone comes to my office and says, look, I've got all this IRS debt, I've got a bunch of credit card debt, I'm trying to save my house, sometimes bankruptcy is a life-changing way to go. I mean, do you understand how, if you don't pay a bill, how often these debt collectors will call you?
Yes, daily.
I mean, all day, every day.
Weekends, they don't
Letters. Do you understand the stress that this creates for some people? When they're getting constantly harassed by debt collectors. When you file bankruptcy, not only can they not call you anymore, they get sued. We sue them if they call you anymore. They are not allowed to harass you any longer once you file for the protection of bankruptcy. They just can't do it.
How do you track that as a consumer? How do you track that? Do you just grab the company's name and is it okay for them to call you one more time? Is it excessive, like more than two?
Once you file what we call a suggestion of bankruptcy, they can never, ever call you again. Never. Not once, not twice, 0.0. And if they do, you actually get money. We sue them for debt collection practices violations, and you actually get money for them calling you. They can't call you anymore. Let me ask you this question, too, because people come in my office all the time. They're like, well, I got a bunch of debt for sure, and I owe the IRS 30 grand. I know you can't do anything about that. What do you think about IRS debt? Do you think IRS debt is dischargeable in bankruptcy?
I'm probably going to say no.
Chase, what do you think? Do you think you can get rid of IRS debt by filing bankruptcy?
I'm gonna say no, but I'm guessing the answer is actually yes.
You can. So look, if you owe the IRS a lot of money, and the IRS debt is more than 3 years old, wiped out, done.
Nice.
It's
More
just
than
like
3.
American Express, wiped out, done. What about this? What about a second mortgage? You know, in 2006, to get a mortgage, all you needed was a pulse and a pen, right? You didn't have to go. You didn't have to like show them W-2s or anything. You literally just needed to be alive and be able to sign the document. They were giving people mortgages left and right.
They were?
Easy peasy. In 2006, most people didn't have to make any sort of down payment on their house because you got what was called an 80-20 mortgage. You remember those? Mm-hmm. An 80-20 mortgage, meaning you're going to get 2 different loans to buy this house. So 80% of the loan is going to be with, say, Wells Fargo. Then 20% is going to be, say, Bank of America. So you have 2 mortgages. By filing a Chapter 13 bankruptcy, if you still have one of these 80-20 loans, you can actually wipe out the entire second mortgage.
Wow.
Gone.
I didn't know that.
You don't owe the money anymore, assuming that the house is worth less than the first mortgage. What about homeowners associations? Everyone complains about their HOA, right? Mm-hmm. No one likes HOA. I mean, we like them because the neighborhood's beautiful.
Yep.
But we really don't like this old guy who has nothing else to do other than like send me letters about my lawn being too long, right?
Yes.
Like we hate this guy. And so what happens is a homeowners association, you get mad at them and you don't pay. Or they give you this special assessment and you don't pay. An HOA can foreclose on you and take your home just like a bank can. Did you know that?
I think I heard that on your show.
Oh, thank you for listening to our show. An HOA can foreclose on you just like a bank can. And if you file bankruptcy, you can actually wipe out everything you owe to the HOA as well. What about student loans? Do you think you can wipe out student loans in a bankruptcy?
No, I don't.
Chase?
I think you can.
Student loans are more difficult. Student loans are the one thing
You weren't paying attention, Chase, last time we were here.
Student loans are a little bit more difficult to wipe out in a bankruptcy, but there are things that you can do through the bankruptcy process in dealing with the student loans as well. Sometimes you can wipe them out, but you kind of have to show that you're essentially disabled. I mean, you have to really show that you have no ability to make any money, and it's tough. It's tough to get rid of the student loan debt in a bankruptcy. But most debt, every other debt, including IRS, it's gone. You just don't owe them the money anymore. AlliMac, let me ask you this, and I had no idea you had filed bankruptcy before. I'm glad you talked about that on the air. How did you feel after you did it? I mean, how did you feel?
Well, the attorney that we went through gave us a lot of information ahead of time where, he let us know that, our credit is not going to be good for the next 2 years. So make sure you purchase anything. It almost felt like I was kind of put in this bubble where I can't go purchase a car. I can't go buy a house. I can't go buy, but I had to do these steps in order for me to regain my credit. I had to get a small $300 credit card. And of course, that was maxed out like within a week with the gas and all that. And I had to pay it off. So it was almost, I felt like I'm part of this group of people, the bankruptcy, people that, but now that I see it in hindsight, I think that was the best decision for us. My credit is phenomenal now. And, I have credit cards that I'm able to maintain and all that. But, I think that for me, for the situation that I was in, it was the best decision that I could have made.
So, and Richard makes a good point here. He talk about car loans. Can I keep my car if I file bankruptcy? That's a great question. And the answer is unequivocally yes. If you file bankruptcy, a lot of times people will come and say, well, I know I got to give up my car and my house. I'm like, no, absolutely not. You 100,000,000% can keep your house. You can keep your car. In fact, people come into my office and say, Justin, I got one of these like buy here, pay here cars, 20% interest rate. I'm paying $700 a month for a really terrible car. By filing bankruptcy, you can lower the interest rate on your car down to about 5 or 6%.
Wow.
By filing bankruptcy.
need to
So
let me
not
know
only can
how.
you keep your car, you can lower the interest rate on your car. To me, bankruptcy is a lifesaver
It is.
for you and for your family. 321-282-1055, www.youhavepower.com. You're watching and listening to Behind the Law with Justin Clark and AlliMac.
Foreclosure defense, loan modifications, bankruptcy. Get the answers to all your legal questions and more on Behind the Law with attorney Justin Clark every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. on TV 27.
Now back to Behind the Law with Justin Clark, right here on ESPN 580 Orlando.
Welcome back to the show. My name is Justin Clark. You're listening to Behind the Law with me, attorney Justin Clark and AlliMac. 321-282-1055, www.youhavepower.com. I hope you call us with any legal question that you may have. I would never charge you to talk to you or to come into my office and let's really figure out what's going on. Even if I don't handle that area of law, between AlliMac and I, we know a lawyer who does and can guide you in the right direction. How it really works in real life, AlliMac, is someone will come in my office and say, oh, well, I've been charged with a crime or whatever it is. I don't really do criminal defense in my office, but of course I have friends who handle those areas of law. And I'm going to say, look, friend of mine, I'm sending you this client, and the lawyer that I send you to is going to be held accountable because I know them. You know what I mean? They're going to want to do a great job for you and probably going to charge you a little bit less, give you a little like friends and family discount because I sent you to them. Does that make sense? I mean, that's how it works. And I kind of, when I refer clients out, I kind of expect an email a month or so just saying, hey, just want to let you know, thank you, first of all, for sending this client to me, and here's how it's going. It's going well. I think that's fair enough. What do you think?
No, yeah, I think that, if the viewers or the listeners do have any kind of questions legal, to call your office. I know that we know a lot of different attorneys in a lot of areas, and it's more of we want to make sure you guys are speaking to the best.
321-282-1055, www.youhavepower.com. Call me or AlliMac for any questions that you may have. But I'm really curious about this because, when I started my own business, say 13 years ago now, it was real simple. You need a phone number and a website. No one ever talked about, you need to sign up for Hootsuite and post on Instagram and Snapchat and interact with your potential clients or your potential customers like it is now. You're a social media expert, right? So I've only been on social media for about a year, maybe a year and a half. So I'm really not an expert by any stretch of the imagination. But everyone out there always tells me, hey, hire me. I'm going to be your social media expert, right? I mean, these social media experts are a dime a dozen. I know you do social media very well for your clients. What separates you, would you say, versus all these other people?
I have a specific niche that I have. I've already been in law and personal injury for about 8 years. So when I started my company, I only wanted to cater to one industry. So not only am I on all different platforms, but I'm on them daily. And also, of course, I'm doing the show with you, which is the radio. I also do another radio show as well. So I try to not just do something where all the companies are doing, which just posts on different sites and they're automated. I try to give my clients real live time with them, real posts, real videos, kind of get to know my clients a little bit more. With that said, keeping with my clientele of personal injury.
The sign. Do you think better to have no sign at all or a terrible temporary sign? This is TV, guys.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think to have a sign with your name on it is good. I think that this is good for right now.
This is a legal show. Let's get back to how bankruptcy can really change your life positively, right? So whenever I file bankruptcy for anyone, I'm going to pull your credit report because I want to see every single debt you've ever owed to anyone. Look, we had a car repossessioned 8 years ago, right? Or we had a foreclosure 4 years ago and they're coming after me for the deficiency judgment. I want to know everything. I want to know everything you've ever owed in your entire life because I want to make sure it all gets wiped out. And when I pull this credit report, it's going to show me what your credit score is today and what your credit score will be in 12 months from now. I guarantee you your credit score is going to go up by like 150 points, sometimes even 200 points. And then the big question always is, well, I can't get a mortgage for 10 years, or I can't go buy a house for 7 years, right? Absolutely incorrect. If you file bankruptcy, most lenders will allow you to buy a house during the seasoning period, we call it, right? So after you get the bankruptcy discharge, there's a seasoning period when you probably can't get a mortgage. But the seasoning period is only like a year.
Okay.
2 years mostly. For most lenders, you can get a new house within 2 years. Some are even doing it within a year. So it's not like you're just dead on for 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, after you file the bankruptcy, the seasoning period begins, and you can buy a house almost guaranteed.
Now,
within
is it
2
going to
years.
affect your interest loan, like your interest rate?
Not really.
If you had a bankruptcy?
A little bit, but not really.
Okay.
If you give it 2 years, your interest rate on the new house you're going to buy is very likely going to be just like what Chase could get it for, or you without filing bankruptcy.
What about if you purchase your car after a bankruptcy? How long is it? Because I know that your interest rate will probably go higher than a person that's, has great to excellent credit, right? Or
Say that again.
if you go and purchase a car, what is going to be your interest rate after your bankruptcy versus somebody that is not going through bankruptcy? How long of a period do you have to wait to get that interest rate where it's manageable, where you're not paying 13% versus...
So the day after you get your bankruptcy discharge, which a bankruptcy process 3 to 4 months is pretty quick, right? So when you get that bankruptcy discharge, that day, you're going to get letters in the mail from car companies saying, we'd love to give you a car loan. You're going to get letters from credit card companies saying, we'd love to give you a credit card, because you can't file bankruptcy again for like 7 or 8 years, depending on which bankruptcy you file or whatever. So you're a great candidate to give money to because you can't file bankruptcy again for a while, right? The interest rate on a car the day after bankruptcy, 12%.
Wow.
Whereas if you have bad credit and you try to go get a car now, your interest rate might be 20%, 25%.
Wow.
But your interest rate kind of on the worst day after bankruptcy is going to be around 12%, which is pretty high.
It is.
I mean, it's higher than normal, but it's not as high as if you have bad credit and go into like one of these buy here, pay here places. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're paying 20%, 25% no matter what at one of these buy here, pay here places if you have bad credit. But if you do it after bankruptcy, 12, almost mark my words, 12%. If you go buy a house after bankruptcy, you can do it definitely within 2 years, some places even within 1 year, and your interest is going to be 4%. I mean, 4.5%, 5% maybe max. So bankruptcy is a fantastic way to build your credit, believe it or not. Thank you so much for spending some of your weekend here with us. My name is Justin Clark. That is AlliMac. Tune in again next week when we're going to answer all of your legal questions. Call us in advance, 321-282-1055. We will answer your questions here live on the air in the studio. Justin Clark, AlliMac, Behind the Law.